Welcome back to the Morning Blend. This is not your average cookbook, but not because it has 80 recipes from a James Beard award-winning chef, but because it's also a memoir. It's called Good Stock, Life on a Low Simmer by Sanford D'Amato.
Yeah, we're joined now by Sandy, along with Wisconsin foodie Kyle Cherrick and Nancy Stoves from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, because Sandy will be part of this weekend's Wine Dine Wisconsin event, and this is a wonderful event that's coming up this weekend. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Nice to have you all.
Kyle came up with a new one, Duck Duck.
Gray Goose.
Duck, duck.
Perfect.
On 0 hours
like
somewhere.
I love it.
I love it. This weekend, Wine Dine Wisconsin, so exciting. It's a fun weekend. Before we get to that, we've got, the little elephant in the room on the table, which is really exciting because today is your book release. Check it out. Good Stock. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, it was about 5 years in the making, and it's a memoir of my life from 1950 through, it goes up to about 1996, right after, about 6 years after we opened Sanford. It has 80 recipes, and it tells the story of where the recipes came from. That's the question I always get, where do your recipes come from? And this tells the story of where they come from.
Where do most of them come from? Are they things that were passed down? Are they things you created?
No, they're mostly from different mentors. I like to call them mentors. I mean, whether it was my mother, my grandfather, the chefs I work for, both professional and unprofessional. And they were the stories that brought those recipes out. You
met Julia Child as a kid, right?
Well, no, I met, the first time I met her was in 1974. I was working at the Vaudor, and she just walked back in the kitchen after dinner. This was in New York City, and she always used to come in the kitchen after dinner and talk to all the cooks, and she just did a quick bon appetit. But it took 15 years later till I actually.
Her one of your mentors?
Yeah, well, I consider her someone who was very instrumental in my career. She helped not only me, but she helped a lot of chefs over the years to really. She kind of doled out her greatness to them and brought them into the fold.
It's great.
I mean, Julia's genius was, if you said American cuisine in the 70s, people would smirk, basically. And she was way ahead, and she got that we had great chefs, Sandy being one of. And then, of course, the 80s and the 90s, basically it was a generation, and he's one of really 30 or 40 national treasures that changed, that made American cooking preeminent in the world. So Julia lit the fire.
She did the same thing that she did for French food in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. She did for American food in the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
That's wonderful. What's your role in Wine and Dine this weekend?
Well, I'm going to be living there. I'm going to have a small tent.
You're moving in.
That's right.
All three of us have cots in the back
Hope you
of
brought your
Wisconsin.
pajamas.
Of the
Because
Wisconsin
I start at 11 to 12:30. I'll be at the Journal booth with Nancy, and that'll be on both Saturday and Sunday. And then I'm doing a demo both days at 1 o'clock. On Saturday, I'm making Sicilian caponata, very close to my heart.
Yum.
And then on Sunday, I'll be doing a lemon curd meringue, which was taught to me by Dieter Schorner, like another mentor. And then at 2:30 on Saturday, I'll be with Kyle, and we'll be kind of delving behind the book. All the questions that weren't answered.
We're going to do sort of an actor studio style hour conversation on the book. Yeah.
Is it going to be real serious,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
in the studio?
Very deliberate.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think?
A little Lipton-esque, I'm sure.
Exactly.
Kyle.
Well, the book releases today, but I got to read it in advance, and so it's just, I've got all the goods.
These are actually the two people that I know have read the whole book.
That's great. What did you think of the book?
It's a wonderful book. Sandy, who has written the kitchen technician column for us for 13 years.
13 years.
He tells such wonderful stories. It's just natural to him to tell good stories. So even if you don't cook, you enjoy reading his column, and the same thing with the book, you will enjoy the book.
As a food journalist, what do you look forward to this upcoming weekend with this event in particular?
Eating and drinking, of course. It's a great way for anyone to, whether you're new to the city or you've been here a long time, to really sample the best that we have, whether it's from the chefs or local food vendors, and also, of course, drink lots of good wine and beer and spirits, and
just enjoy.
Cheese, of course, cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just have to mention one thing. I mean, without Nancy being there in the beginning, this book wouldn't be there, because when I was a reluctant writer. I mean, I hadn't written anything all through high school or college, and I pitched an idea to Nancy about doing this column 13 years ago, and
they said yes,
and they said yes.
You're like, uh-oh.
And that was the start of my writing.
And so people who haven't read your column, it's in Entree, correct?
On Sunday,
Yes.
every Sunday.
Yeah.
So people, and a lot of that is featured in there. For you, Kyle, what's one of your favorite parts of the weekend? Everybody knows you're a Wisconsin foodie. They love what you do
Yeah,
here.
well, we've got a booth. We've got a whole kind of Wisconsin Foodie Pavilion this year. So it's a culmination of all of those people that we focused on the show in the last 4 or 5 seasons. But I mean, I have to say the highlight is going to be this candid conversation. It's a huge honor.
Yeah.
You know, Nancy tells a story here in Milwaukee, but Sandy's a national cooking treasure. I don't know how else to say it, and I'm not saying it because he's right next to me. You know,
Listening,
I mean,
staring you down.
no, but it's to put it in with the loss of Charlie Trotter, which is in the news, and Sandy was just at his funeral yesterday. I mean, he's at that level, and he's one of those 30, 40, talent trusts that the country has. So to get the book in advance and to then be able to have a conversation with a great chef, which is kind of what wakes me up and puts me to bed, those stories, it's, yeah.
And he's such a nice person.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he has great glasses, too.
I know.
I like that.
Can we all become foodies this weekend?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay.
Yes.
We're going to give the information so everybody can go out to the Wine and Dine event this weekend. It's Wine and Dine Wisconsin by Boston Store. It's this weekend, the 16th and 17th at the Wisconsin Center. You can visit the website, which is wineanddinewisconsin.com. If you enter in the promo code BLEND, you'll receive $5 off your ticket as well. And right now, for those lucky Morning Blend viewers, if you give us a call right now, 414-799-4444, caller number 7 will win 2 tickets, so you too can become a foodie, just like Kyle.
Yeah.
Isn't that great?
Loved it. Great to have you all here today.
Yeah, it was a pleasure.
Pleasure.
Thanks for
Thank you so